Grandpa Bill! Grandpa Bill!
What do you want, kid? Go on now.
Look what I found. I know it's yours.
Why, this is my old coat. Where did you dig that up? Give that to me right this minute, boy.
But Grandpa, how did you ever come about a gun like that? Tell me, am I not your grandson, after all?
Oh, all right, boy. I'm way too old to chase you around anyway, you little brat. So be it. I'll tell you about my younger days. But first, fetch Grandpa a clean glass and a bottle labeled whiskey. Yeah, right there. Behind the ashtray. In the old days, good old Sin Town looked way different, Robbie. It was tiny and uninhabited. Oh, but God almighty, how I loved it. You really can't imagine. Everybody here could find work to their liking. It was here that I met my first true love, Charlotte. But most importantly, it was the safest town in all of the Wild West. Until they showed up. These outlaws were wanted in every city of our state. They were real bastards. Their leader went by the name of Fat Joe. In his 30s, this mammoth weighed more than a herd of bison, and you could take that to the bank. He was used to getting everything he ever wanted, right from the cradle. And even after his parents died, nothing much changed in that department. He couldn't let a second go by without munching on something. Ugh. The stench, oh, Lordy. God forbid that you should ever smell such a thing, ever. But, to tell you the truth, I started hating him way before that.
Way before what, Grandpa? Grandpa Bill.
After he kidnapped my Charlotte, and along with her, he took all the other women of Sin Town. It was then that I understood that I wouldn't be able to go on living without getting my revenge against that animal. And so it began. Those three I took down right away.
Grandpa, you've got a glass in your hand?
And a bottle right there.
Grandpa, were you not supposed to reload the revolver?
Of course not. This is Hollywood, kid.
Grandpa, it looks like you're trying to trick me.
Oh, yeah? Well, no victim, no crime, kid. Grandson, that day my heater lit 'em up like the sky on the 4th of July.
Why, whatever you mean, Grandpa. When you make jokes like that, I don't understand you, Grandpa.
Oh, don't worry, kid. I stopped understanding myself way back when I was 68. Cover to your right. Keep on going. Move out. Move out. Enemy to your left, kid. Cover me. Move out. Yes, there were so many of them, and my barrels were red hot.
Barrels? You said my favorite revolver, not revolvers.
Take a good long look at me, kid. I have 2 hands, don't I? That means 2 pistols, kid. reflexes were as good and fast as a leopard hunting his prey.
And that's exactly the reason why you had them 7 kids. Right, Grandpa? Because of them cat-like reflexes.
Out! Felt good. Down the middle, son. Did it finally get through to you that no bullets of yours could take me down? Come get some of this. Cover me! And this is all you got? You're the tough guys around here, huh? I feel much better after taking you down. Enemy to your left, kid. Go, go, go! Coming into my town was the biggest mistake you've ever made. Cover me! Double kill. That didn't hurt. Enemy was hit. He fell to the ground like a pencil playing the banjo. And they lived happily ever after.
Grandpa, what about Charlotte and Joe?
Oh, all right. Just hand me that next bottle, kid. I went looking for him. My revenge for what he did to Charlotte and the others he kidnapped took me far away from the town I called home. And before I knew it, these bastards from Joe's clan attacked me.
And what happened then, Grandpa?
I tracked Big Joe's fat footsteps to the sulfur pit mine, and it was there that they were getting ready to ambush me. The whole pit mine was full of enemies who kept the old man at gunpoint.
Like this one?
No, a little smaller. So, who's the wise guy here? Come get some. Come get yours.
Double kill. Double kill. Double kill.
Oh! Enemy to your left, kid. Oh man, fellas, I get it though. Sun and heat are getting to you. Your stupidity is far beyond me. Y'all call this shooting? Let me show you how it's done.
Triple kill. Double kill.
Granddad, could revolvers really shoot like this?
No, revolvers couldn't, but these two .45 caliber babies sure could. that today's weather forecast included lead precipitation. They've gone and opened up another one of them cemeteries nearby. For limited time only, they're giving away place for free.
Double kill. Triple kill. Killing spree. Double kill.
Just exactly how many of you fit into one mine?
Triple kill. Double kill. Double kill. Double kill. Double kill. Triple kill.
And I took all of them down. All the enemies died. Except one. Oh yeah, I killed him too. And as I have told you before, so they lived happily ever after. And as a matter
Way out to get you that next bottle.
After 3 months of stakeouts, I finally found his camp. I grasped my trusty six-shooter. I grasped my trusty six-shooter by the handle. But my main weapon that day was my rage. After some scouting, I found Joe's camp. I crept up to the camp and a gunshot noise.
What happened?
That damn arthritis.
Monkey breaker!
So, who's the wise guy here? Come get some. Come get yours.
Triple kill! Double kill!
Do you know how many gangbangers it takes to change a light bulb?
How many, Grandpa?
Not even one. They're all idiots. That day, the enemy was dropping like flies come wintertime. But it wasn't cold at all. Now, what I really need is a new gun with a little more zing. And then, Joe used his drones. Felt good.
Double kill! Double kill!
Wait, it was at that moment that I understood that the desert is hot enough. Just the right time for Mr. Shell Blaster.
Mr. Shellbuster? What is that, Grandpa?
And I figure now's as good a time as any to introduce you to. Just be careful. He has an explosive personality.
Double kill! Double kill!
I'm so dumb.
Triple kill!
Take it easy, fella. Enough lead for all of you.
Double kill!
We just need to start over again, Robbie. After 3 months of stakeouts, I finally found his camp. After some scouting, I found Joe's camp. I crept up to the camp and a gunshot noise.
happened?
That damn arthritis.
Breaker!
So, who's the wise guy here? Come get some. Come get yours.
Double kill!
Go!
Double kill!
Do you know how many gangbangers it takes to change a light bulb?
How many, Grandpa?
Not even one. They're all idiots. That day, the enemy was dropping like flies come wintertime. But it wasn't cold at all. Now, what I really need is a new gun with a little more scene.
Double kill!
And then, Joe used his drones. It was at that moment that I understood that the desert is hot enough. Just the right time for Mr. Shell Blaster.
Mr. Shellbuster? Who is that, Grandpa?
And I figure now's as good a time as any to introduce you to. Just be careful. He has an explosive personality. What in the world is this? Did you skip the breakfast of champions? Get your act together. After 3 months of stakeouts, I finally found this camp. After some scouting, I found Joe's camp. I crept up to the camp and a gunshot noise.
What happened?
That damn arthritis. So, who's the wise guy here? Come get some. Come get yours. Do you know how many gangbangers it takes to change a light bulb?
How many, Grandpa?
Not even one. They're all idiots. That day, the enemy was dropping like flies come wintertime. But it wasn't cold at all. Now, what I really need is a new gun with a little more scene. Then, Joe used his drones. Wait, it was at that moment that I understood that the desert is hot enough. Just the right time for Mr. Shell Blaster.
Mr. Shellbuster? Who is that, Grandpa?
And I figured now's as good a time as any to introduce you to. Just be careful. He has an explosive personality.
Cover fire!
So, who's the wise guy here? Come get some. Come get yours. Oh. Hey kid, what in the world is this? Did you skip the breakfast of champions? Get your act together.